Okay, here is an absolute phenomenal. This should almost be one of the tools that I give you later. I'm kind of looking on an outline right now. Is to don't give yourself away with the words that you use. Now, what I mean by that is, first of all, I tell men in one of their lessons to be better listeners. It's going to help them in all aspects of their life. Same thing for you ladies. But when it comes to listening right now, usually women are pretty good listeners anyway, especially when they start dating. They have an interest in the man. His answers are something they're going to reflect upon later. And so I'm not really going to go too heavy into being good listeners. If you can, I'll be honest, if you can stomach listening to what a lot of these guys have to say, um, bravo. I want to give you a certificate for passing the boring class. But when it comes to the listening part of it, be careful with what you say to men because I'm teaching them to listen for things that are going to give you away as well. Not necessarily to exploit you because I want the end game to be a successful relationship. But when you women are talking to men, you say things all the time that a smart guy, the player type, is going to just have blow up in your face. I, when talking with a woman, pick up on the references to the future. So if a woman is talking about me in future tense, however subtle, I know that she's thinking about me in the future. And I know it's a done deal and I can start, changing my strategy to act the course. And so you have to be really careful on the type of things that you say. I'm going to take it a little bit further. Women, when you're talking disgusting and you're talking sexual and you're using vulgar, men are losing respect for you very quickly. Even if they're like, oh, yeah, rocks up. You're like a girl that I can hang out with and you're different than the other girls. He's just giving you a bunch of crap. He really thinks you're kind of disgusting. When he goes and hangs out with his friend later, he's going to be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this girl. She swears. You guys will like her. She's one of the homies now, so it's gross. When you're talking about, I want to keep the content to my videos really clean too, so I don't want to get too detailed or graphic into what I'm talking about. But when you're talking about like oral sex, even sex, that's all the man sees of you from now on. It doesn't make you cool. It doesn't make you liberated. It doesn't bring you to equal ground. It really just shows that you're disgusting. So you really want to be careful about the words that you're saying too. You want to be very careful in how you're showing up because men are looking at that. When they get really in tune and they have experience in seduction, everything you say is going to be under a microscope that they're naturally picking up on. So when a girl says and mentions her ex, or she talks about the type of ex that she has, or the type of girl that she is, or the type of friends that she has, I can start classifying her into who she is. Now, I'm going to pretty much just stop it right here. Because women, I know how you can get with your minds. I don't want you sitting at a date tripping out on what you're talking about. So stay in the question, ask men questions. Don't be giving yourself away. Now, dang, I'm teaching men to do the same thing. I really am. So, what I'm going to give you that's added, a bonus that I'm not giving them, is that if the two of you are talking, not over each other, but you're in sync, he says something, you naturally have an answer, and it's back and forth. And it's like an even keel of a stream that's just running perfectly down the river. Then you guys are in sync with each other. It's a very spiritual thing. Um, but if you're talking over each other and he wants to be talking and he's asking questions and he's not letting you finish things, then there's no synchronicity there and he's too caught up in the strategy of it. So just be very careful in the things that you say and what they mean. Now, I talk about a little bit of this okay, we do go into online profiles here. Usually at the beginning of two, we go into the online stuff. I'm putting it a little bit at the end for the ladies. But I'm going to go into some of the things you want to have in your profile as well and what you don't want to have. Very much similar in how you're talking to a guy. in an aisle at Walmart or across from a bar. So just be aware of those things. If you don't want a guy to know that you're easy, don't tell him in whatever words you use. It's the same thing. If you want a guy to know, then use the words that let him know. Does that make sense? So be very careful on how you're showing up. You're saying something, it's being heard, he's listening to it, and it means something, and he's going to do something with it. So just get your A game going, okay?